Who's on right now?
All right. Well, I see Caleb Fisher's watching us on YouTube.
Hi, Caleb.
Hi, Caleb Fisher. I see that there are other people watching. So, kind of what to expect tonight, you guys. Josiah and I just thought we'd get together and put together a little bit of set of worship songs, acoustic style, and just microphones so you can kind of hear everything we're doing, like my chair squeaks, which is super fun. All right. Cool. So, Hope says to Josiah, your dad invited all the fam.
Yay.
So,
Good.
you got some fam.
Sweet.
Why don't we start with a song?
Yeah.
How about that?
What
I
song?
do have some scripture to read a little bit later. So we have a whole bunch of songs. I think we have 14 songs to choose from, something like that. So as everybody's, shut in tonight, we don't know how much longer this is going to go. Things are a little bit different. I thought tonight you were singing that song 40 sometimes. It's by U2. And I like the chorus of that song. It says, how long? How long to sing this song? There's a couple of psalms that brings to mind. There's a psalm that says, how long, O Lord? How long is this going to go? How long until you do something? Until you come through? How long? And then Psalm 40, which, the song that U2 wrote, is taken from that psalm. It says, I waited patiently for the Lord. Then he inclined and heard my cry. He lifted me up out of the pit, out of the miry clay, and I will sing a new song. And I don't know what kind of situation you're in tonight. I don't know what you're feeling, what you're thinking. I don't know what your financial world is like. I don't know. But we've all been massively disrupted. And I think it's been so many days now that it's kind of almost like we've all gotten to a new normal a little bit. But it's not like necessarily a good normal. It's like we're sort of used to it. And I wonder if some of us maybe are struggling a little bit tonight with feeling maybe a little bit apathetic. Like, I don't really like this new normal, but I guess I'm stuck with it for a while. So I'm just going to kind of crawl in a hole and wait it out. I felt that. I felt some things like that. Josiah, I don't know how you felt about it. He was talking earlier to me about online school and calculus and how math is much harder when you're learning it online, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Right? So, you guys, man, there's a whole bunch of different things that we could possibly be thinking about tonight. But I think some of us are struggling with disappointment. There's probably some apathy. There's probably some irritation. Maybe families have been struggling a little bit. So I just want to, why don't we start with 40?
Okay.
And we'll be kind of on and off here, singing, talking, and we might even make this a little bit interactive. So I see Sherry Johnson, must be your Aunt Sherry.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you got family
Aunt
members.
Sherry.
That's pretty cool. All right. Yes, Caleb Fisher, according to Governor's Office, stay-at-home will end on Monday morning. He hosted a conference call today that I participated in for Colorado clergy, and they said, yes, indeed, the mandate to stay at home is expiring on Sunday, so Monday it'll be different. But they're still encouraging people to stay at home. They're saying it's safer at home, so we're entering into a new phase. It's going to be at least the next month, or the whole month of May, where they're saying safer at home. Instead of shelter at home, it's safer at home. They might open up some organizations, some workplaces, but it's going to be pretty limited, and they're still mandating social distancing. And it looks like at least for the next month, they're mandating that no groups exist that are bigger than 10. So, as we talk about the church and we talk about being in this giant auditorium sometimes, and we think about 500 people coming and joining us here, it's going to be at least probably July, probably later. The governor was pretty unclear about that today. He's just kind of like, well, we'll see. We'll see. And so we're just going to kind of continue on like this. That's just kind of how it needs to be. So how about 40 in the key of G? God, we want to acknowledge that you're here with us tonight. You're in each one of our living rooms. God, you're holding all of this together. I'm grateful for you. Grateful for your heart for us, God. You are so powerful. You started this whole universe with one word. You hold the whole thing together by the word of your power. We believe that. Sometimes it's hard to see. Sometimes it's hard to have hope. Sometimes it's hard to wait. And God, we do ask tonight, how long must we do this? How long until normal starts again? But in the midst of it, God, I just pray that you'd speak to each one of us tonight. I thank you for your Holy Spirit. I just thank you, God, that you can teach each one of us separately, but you're here, you're one, you're together, and so you are in each one of us, and yet you're one God, and so you can insert the same thoughts into all of us. What does your church need to hear tonight? We wait patiently, God, to hear from you. Patiently for the Lord, he inclined and heard my cry. He lifted me up out of the pit, out of the miry clay. I will sing a new song. I will sing a new song. Sing this song. Set my feet upon a rock and made my footsteps firm. And many will see and fear, and I will sing a new song. I will sing a new song. How long to sing this song? How long to sing this song? How long? How long? How long? To sing this song. Back and sing, I waited patiently.
Well, I wanted to do this song because when we were thinking about the set, the first lyrics, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, just popped in my mind. Yeah, so awesome. Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and start, and I am going to invite a few people to our Facebook feed. Amy Campbell, you know, whoever's running sound, the music slides, and everything else to make this possible. Tonight's stuff is made possible by yours truly, and Josiah Everhart, and Emery Swan. And Sarah Swan has helped a bit with aesthetics and lights, though she's sitting and knitting, which is pretty cool. But Emery Swan is running our slides for tonight, and we just have a camera out there, and we're hoping that the sound works. And I actually have the iPad for sound right over there if we have to do any sound adjustments. But we kind of just set up some microphones to kind of make it easy tonight. So why don't we do Never Let Go?
Right. Did you want me to sing the...
Oh, yeah. Why don't you sing?
Okay. Sure.
Go for it.
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, perfect love is casting out fear. Even when I'm caught in the middle of the storms of this life, I won't turn back, I know you are near. I will fear no evil, for my God is with me. And if my God is with me, whom then shall I fear? Whom then shall I fear? Oh no, never let go. Through the calm, through the storm. Oh no, never let go. Every high, every low. Oh no, never let go. Lord, you never let go of me. I can see the light that is coming for the heart that holds on. The heart is beyond all compare. There will be an end to the struggles that day comes. To know you here on the earth, I will fear no evil, for my God is with me.
if you're so willing.
I am willing.
Go for it.
Absent from flesh, oh blissful thought, what joy this moment brings. Free from the blame my sin has brought, from pain and death and its sting. Absent from flesh, oh glorious day, in one triumphant stroke, my reckoning paid, my charges dropped, in the bonds round my hands are broke. I go where God and glory shine to one eternal day. This failing body I now resign to the angels that point my way. For the angels that point my way. Here we go. Absent from flesh, then rise my soul, where feet no wings could climb. Beyond the sky where the planets roll, beyond all keep of time. I go where God and glory shine to one eternal day. Of this failing body I now resign to the angels that point my way. I go where God and glory shine to one eternal day. This failing body I now resign to the angels that point my way. I go where God and glory shine to one eternal day. This failing body I now resign to the angels that point my way. I go where God and glory shine to one eternal day. This failing body I now resign to the angels that point my way. To the angels that point my way. To the angels that point my way. To the angels that point my way.
Amen.
Right. I love how you do that one.
Yeah.
That's really cool. For the first moment I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. I like the 12 string.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the 12 string. This is Hat Pritchard's guitar. He came over and dropped it off for me, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I put a lot of new strings on it, which took forever because there's 12 strings. But anyway, I was thinking about Ephesians 6, and actually Hap and I were talking about this a little bit, speaking of Hap and his guitar. But in Ephesians 6, starting in verse 10, says, "Finally, be strong in the Lord in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." And so I just was thinking about this tonight. Like, if we feel like we're struggling, we're wrestling. And Paul says here really, really clearly, like, we may not even be able to see what we're wrestling against. Like, we talk a lot about mental health, and we talk about, the fact that we've got physical things happening to us. There's a real virus out there that's actually infecting people and hurting people. And people are dying. I don't know personally anybody who has actually died from the virus, but I'm one step removed from several of them, and friends who have lost family members. And so there's a very real enemy out there, and it's like it's coming at multiple fronts, right? And I was thinking about being absent from flesh. Flesh meaning that old sin nature, this frail body, before we're redeemed and before we end up in heaven and before, God restores and renews and brings back everything and makes everything good and, rights all the wrongs and brings justice. And like those are the great things that we're looking forward to. But we struggle now. And he says that we have a wrestling that's happening, right? And so he says this. He says, take up the whole armor of God. Therefore, because we're struggling, take up the whole armor of God that you may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all, to stand firm. I'm going to actually save the rest of this for after. But just thinking about standing firm, I wanted to highlight first of all that God is with us as we stand firm. It's not us that are doing the standing even necessarily. It's God. We put on this armor of God, and it's God who's with us. So why don't we do "Oh God"? And I actually liked the key you did earlier, where you put a capo on at random and played in C.
Okay.
Would that be okay to repeat that?
Yeah.
And I'll play with the 12 strings some more.
All right.
Good to see you guys. Robin Gotti, glad to see you. Glad that you're here. And I see that your Aunt Sherry says that you need a female backup singer. We probably do.
Well, that's your fault, Aunt Sherry. You should be here helping us.
Awesome. Give Emery a second to find the lyrics as soon as his finger goes down. But you can go ahead and start playing the intro.
In the valley, oh God, you're near. In the quiet, oh God, you're near. In the shadows, oh God, you're near. Am I breaking? Oh God, you're near. Oh God, you never leave my side. Your love will stand firm through all my life. Searching, oh God, you're near. In my wandering, oh God, you're near. In my lowest, oh God, you're near. In my lowest, stand firm through all my life. In height or death or anything else to pull us apart, we are joined as one by the blood. And hope will rise as we become more and conquerors of the one who loved the world. Height or death or anything else pull us apart, we are joined as one by the blood. Hope will rise as we become more and conquerors through the ones who love the world. Oh God, you never leave my side. Your love will stand firm through all my side. Oh God, you never leave my side. Your love will stand firm through all my life. Oh God, you never leave my side. Oh God, your love will stand firm through all my life.
Awesome. How about we do one day?
One day. Can we do that one in A?
Do it in A.
Yeah.
Why don't you lead off? You want to do it in A, really? One day?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh no.
Losing our chord charts here.
What key do you do it in?
I don't know. It's kind of all over the place. All right. Would you give us some guitar in the background?
Okay.
So therefore, take up the whole armor of God. This is Ephesians 6. That you may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand firm, stand therefore, having fastened on the belt of truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and as shoes for your feet, having put on the readiness given by the gospel of peace. And in all circumstances, take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all the flaming darts of the evil one. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying at all times in the Spirit with all prayer and supplication. To that end, keep alert, with all perseverance, making supplication for all the saints and also for me, that words may be given me in the opening my mouth boldly to proclaim the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains, that I may declare it boldly, as I ought to speak. I think oftentimes what gives a Christian boldness? I think about putting on the belt of truth, and just the understanding of truth is huge for us. Particularly the truth that one day we get to see God face to face. I think if we neglect that particular truth, it's like not having a belt. Bad things happen when you don't have a belt. But in this case, the belt it's holding up your sword. I mean, there's a whole lot going on here that Paul's talking about. But there's one truth in particular, that one day, because of what Jesus did for us and he defeated death, that we get to see God face to face. We're going to sing of his glory there. There's not going to be any more suffering, any more shame, any more pain, any more sorrow. He's going to wipe away every tear. And as we wait now and we ask God, how long, O Lord, until this is over? I think it's good for us to be reminded, right? Why don't you lead us off? Have you seen anything tonight? Yeah.
One day, Lord, I'll see your face. One day, Lord, I'll see your face. And I'll see your glory there in that holy place. In the city of peace there, with the sinners and the saints. No more sorrow, no more pain. 'Cause one day, Lord, I'll see your face. One day, Lord, I'll see your face. One day, Lord, I'll see your face. And I'll lay down my burdens, gonna lay down these chains. 'Cause the struggles are over now. I'm gonna walk through your gates. No more suffering, no more shame. 'Cause one day, Lord, I'll see your face. Sing it out now. One day, one day, one day, Lord, I'll see your face. One day, Lord, I'll see your face. Now the road is narrow, the path is straight. The gates are wide open now by the hands of grace. Sing that again. Now the road is narrow, the path is straight. The gates are wide open now by the hands of grace. And I want to be faithful, Lord, to the end of this race. Till one day, Lord, I'll see your face. Sing it out now. One
So Hope says that her sound is getting way in front of the video, but other people are saying it's doing great. Hope, I just say, try reloading your page. We gotta love technology, right? It's super, super fun. I think we're okay though. I'll put down this 12 string here for a sec.
At least there's no like and that's our plan for the next 5 years.
If it gets real bad, just turn off the video and listen. So Josiah, you're in your senior year of high school?
Yep.
And you got your senior year completely sort of yanked away from you, right?
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah, there's a lot of people in that situation. I know a couple people that are out of work. I think we're all kind of asking that question, when does life get back to normal, right? But if we did Be Thou My Vision next. Be Thou My Vision. Let's see what people are saying here. Amy Campbell, we'll get you up here singing pretty soon. Be thou my vision, oh playing guitar?
5 years, I think.
5 years?
Yeah.
I don't know how long I've been playing guitar.
A lot.
I lost track. I got my first guitar when I was 12. 'Cause I played piano before that. Yeah. But you're good.
Thank you.
You're good. It's a pleasure playing with you.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to do next?
We could do Father, O, and E.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Do you want to do it in A or G?
What key are you used to doing it in?
I just have capo, so it doesn't matter to me.
You just have a capo. So you're doing it in G all the time.
So I can either go G and or just A and play the same things. Capo too.
Why don't we do it there?
Okay.
All right. You can play it in G,
Yeah.
but in A.
But an A.
But in A. All right. We like capos. Our Father who in heaven reigns, how great and mighty is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done. Now here on earth as is above. Oh, give to us our daily bread, and keep our hungry spirits fed. May all our satisfaction be in you, whose grace has set us free. Give us hope, give us faith, help us trust in your guidance. From the depths of your grace, you have richly provided. Thank you, Father, you are all we need. Father, you are all we need. Forgive us all our trespasses, as we forgive when sinned against. Though evil seeks to hide your face, we fix our eyes on you by faith. Give us hope, give us faith, help us trust in your guidance. From the depths of your grace, you have richly provided. Thank you, Father, you are all we need. Father, you are all we need. Give us faith, help us trust in your guidance. From the depths of your grace, you have richly provided. Thank you, Father, you are all we need. Father, you are all we need. Thank you, Father, you are all we need. Father, affirm and thanks. I'm glad it sounds good. That's good to hear. And Hope says, liar, liar, Josiah, you've been playing for 3 years.
No, I've been
Not
playing
5 years. Maybe she doesn't know.
I've been secretly playing for
Secretly.
2 years.
That's awesome. Well, if you're just joining us, Josiah and I are just hosting a night of acoustic music. Just the two of us, kind of hanging out, improvising a little bit, maybe a lot, actually. How about we do For the Joy?
Okay.
I haven't done For the Joy in a long time, actually. Let's see, I like to capo this one.
I'm not capo.
I'm going to capo 3.
Are you playing the same key?
It should be in the same key. B flat?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So back in the day, I was writing this song, and that line out of Nehemiah, you know, where the priest is Ezra, and he grabs the book of the law and he reads for hours and hours. And the people, you know, they've been in exile and they're coming back and they're kind of rebuilding the wall and kind of getting their homeland back in order. And they stand there. I mean, it's just like in the hot sun, right? I mean, you think about all the discomforts you go through. And Ezra reads the book of the law, and the people just freak out. They realize what they have been doing. They have been completely ignoring God. They've been completely ignoring his law, and they're just completely grieved, and they're freaking out, and they're just wailing. They're like, what can we do to make up for all of this? And Ezra prescribes a party. Did you ever realize that?
No.
He prescribes a party, and in Nehemiah 8, he says, stop wailing, put away your sackcloth and your ashes. He says, instead rejoice. He says, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. And I don't know, I have this picture of us all getting back together after all of this craziness. I hope we don't forget God's law in the midst of it. You know, we got to keep up our disciplines, and you know, some of us are slipping, and there's apathy and there's discouragement and people just kind of wanting to crawl into a hole right now. But I just have this anticipation of a day where we all come back together and party. And that's what he does. He prescribes a party, and they get out food, and they gather, and they hang out. And I'm anticipating that. But there's a reality as we're living that life is hard. You know, life is really, really hard. But there's a joy that comes along with being with God, with him in your presence. You know, I'm reminded of the psalm that says, you know, in the presence of the Lord, there are pleasures forevermore at his right hand, right? And I just think about joy. And it's not something we conjure up. We're not going to go looking for joy, but we go looking for God. And we find joy. And in the midst of that, we can have a strength. You know, and so if things are going bad and if things are hard right now, if you're struggling, you know, I think there can be joy in the midst of it. And I think we can be strong in the midst of that. And I think that our neighbors can look at our families and go, man, you guys are so happy during this time. What is it? It's the joy of the Lord. It's my strength. So kind of thinking about that, and then this song is also written out of the book of Hebrews, where we fix our eyes on Jesus, you know, because he endured the cross. It says for the joy set before him, he endured the cross. So on the other side, there's that joy. So let us fix our eyes take up our crosses. We'll rejoice with willing hearts, trusting in all God has promised as we labor each his part. For the joy trusting God. Okay. I think I need to tune.
Yeah, I heard the D string.
I knocked my... You know which string is out of tune?
I think it was the D string.
All right, I'm going to pull up my trusty app here.
I have
Actually, I found an app. Oh, the app works just as well. We have smartphones now.
Well, yeah,
Except you don't.
Yeah, I know.
And that's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah, see? Everyone just uses tune.
I have one of those. I forget to bring it places because I always have my smartphone. I tend to hit my guitar hard.
I always thought tuners were more accurate because they're on the guitar,
They probably are.
giving the vibrations.
I found this app that somebody made that doesn't have any ads. It doesn't use any permissions except for your microphone. Because I'm a nerd. I care about things like that.
You kind of need your microphone then for a tuning app.
Yeah, kind of need a microphone. Hey, what song should we do next?
I don't care.
You don't care? Anything on your heart to share or anything like that?
I don't know. I mean,
It's good. This is impromptu.
yeah.
You can
I
just-
had something in mind when I picked the songs that I wanted to do, but
Yeah. Well, you thought of the beautiful one.
I did.
wanna try that
That's
one?
because I remembered. Let's see if I can find the second chord. Yep, here it is. the bridge is, "You're the author of all that is good in life and the reason for all my joy." It kind of
Joy?
It's perfect.
What?
For the joy.
We were just talking about joy.
And yeah, the whole bridge really amplifies how this virus shouldn't be anything to us, because yeah, I guess the bridge says it all. "You're the hope of all men, the marvel of angels, the reason for all my joy. You're the maker of music, the victor of death, the reason for all my joy."
Yeah. Why don't you lead us?
All right, capo 3.
Take my selfish ways in me, such prideful eyes. Hunger for glory, my need for fame. Take my relentless pursuit to be first, my needs be king. Take all the ways that I steal your praise. 'Cause you are beautiful one who is worthy of it all. You are beautiful one, how could I be? 'Cause you are beautiful one, at your feet I fall. You are beautiful one who loves me. Take my cravings, flesh and lust, and pleasures of pride. Make me your servant, make me aware. Take all behaviors that cause my brothers notice me more. Make me your servant, make them aware. You are beautiful one who is worthy of it all. You are beautiful one who loves me. Yes, you are beautiful one, at your feet I fall. You are beautiful one who loves me. You're the author of all that is good in life, the reason for all of my joy. You're the maker of music, the victor of death, the reason for all my joy. You're the hope of all men, you're the marvel of angels, the reason for all my joy. Let's sing that again. You're the author of all that is good in life, the reason for all my joy. You're the maker of music, the victor of death, the reason for all my joy. You're the hope of all men, you're the marvel of angels, the reason for all my joy. You are beautiful one who is worthy of it all. You are beautiful one who loves me. Yes, you are beautiful one, at your feet I fall. You are beautiful one who loves me.
I love that song.
Yeah, Steel Crosswhite wrote that. Since the first time I heard it, man,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it just kind of hits you in that raw sort of way.
Yeah.
I love how when he does it live, with just the acoustic guitar. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to see
Oh, I
that.
bet it's amazing.
Yeah, he just kind of roars it, which is kind of great. Do I surrender?
Sure.
I think one of the tough things in the midst of all of this is just kind of being okay with what God's doing.
Yeah.
You got to understand and believe that He's in control. I kind of titled this night, how long to sing this song? Because we do it. I think it's normal for us to feel frustrated sometimes. Like, it's okay. It's okay. I was actually thinking about Jesus when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he's coming up on the cross, and it says that he's so disturbed that he's sweating drops of blood, and he prays to his Father. He says, "Please take this from me. Like, if there's any other way."
Yeah.
So he's looking ahead at what's coming. He's like, I don't want to do it. And just the fact that Jesus did that without sin, it helps me to understand that it's okay for me to have some of these emotions. I can feel sad and distraught a little bit.
Yeah.
Because even Jesus did. But then what he did is ultimately he went through with it, because he said, "Yet not my will, but your will be done."
Yeah.
To his Father. And he still obeyed, and he went to the cross, for the joy set before him.
Yeah.
So that we could have our strength found in the Lord. I mean, it's so great.
Yeah.
But in the midst of it, I think we learn a lesson that we go, you know what? This could be hard. And I might be looking at God going, "Please take this from me."
Yeah.
But there's an obedience that I need to actually have in the midst of it.
Yeah. And then in Mark, I read recently that as they were all fleeing when he was arrested, one of them was grabbed. I don't know if it was a disciple or just a follower of Jesus.
It was a boy.
It was a boy.
It was a boy.
Well, they made the specification that he was so eager to run away that he had to slip out of his clothes to run away.
He ran away naked.
Yeah, which was apparently this thing that you never do. And it shows how eager they were to get away when there's trouble upon Jesus,
Yeah.
And then Peter went off saying, "I will never deny you," and then he denied him.
Yep. Yeah, it is for us when we get in those situations. An interesting little tidbit with that guy that ran away without his clothes. Nobody says, it doesn't actually say it in the text, but they wonder, why would Mark write that in there?
Right.
Unless maybe he was there, and maybe it was him. I don't know.
That's a good
Do
thought.
you want to sing this one? You want me to sing this one?
You can sing this one.
I can sing this one. All right.
It's a little too high for me.
Here I am, down on my knees again, surrendering all, surrendering all. Find me here, Lord, as you draw me near. I'm desperate for you. Desperate for you, I surrender. Drench my soul as mercy and grace unfold. I hunger and thirst. I hunger and thirst. With arms stretched wide, I know you hear my cry. Speak to me now, Lord, speak to me now. I surrender, I surrender.
looks like we still got people watching. Yeah, we got a few more.
Okay, I will go capo 3 and just follow along.
Just kind of, how about if we actually drop this to capo 1? What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Or if I played capo 3A.
What? 3A?
So that we don't play the same.
Everybody's like, what's with all the music theory, guys? Just play some music. There's a peace I've come to know, though my heart and flesh may fail. There's an anchor for my soul. I can say it is well, 'cause Jesus has overcome. And the grave is overwhelmed. The victory is won. He is risen from the dead, and I will rise when He calls my name. No more sorrow, no more pain. I will thinking about verse 2 in this song where it says, there's a day that's drawing near when this darkness breaks to light and the shadows disappear. And my faith shall be my eyes. That means that I get to see God. We've been talking about that tonight. But there's a day that's drawing near. So we sing, how long to sing this song? How long, O Lord? How long? Why do you delay? And I think we acknowledge the truth about how we feel. We understand, you know what, that's okay to feel that way. I just need to give it to God. I just need to take it to Him. It doesn't mean that right now everything's going to be hunky-dory fine. But it does mean that I can look ahead to the truth that there's a day that's drawing near. And the darkness is going to break to light. I can have hope. And it means that in the midst of the trial, I can have joy because the joy of the Lord is my strength. Because I fix my eyes on Jesus who went to the cross. He endured the shame. He endured the death. He had to die there for the joy that was set before him, and then he defeated death. Oh, there's so much glory. There's a day drawing near. It's coming. It's coming. So hold on. It's coming. Sing this song. How long to sing this song? How long? How long? How long? How long to sing this song? Sing this song. We got a couple more songs we could do. Why don't we just do all three in a row?
I rest, I stand amazed, recklessly.
Yeah, why don't we do I rest, reckless love, and then I stand amazed? Play out the evening a little bit.
So we're ending with I stand amazed.
Yeah. It's good to end with little gospel in there. Not that we haven't been preaching it, we have. I just think about putting on the armor of God. You know, there's so much initiative that God takes with us. You know, He loves us so much. That love is proved in the cross. You know, but we can be at rest. Our souls can actually be at rest, though the days are dark. There's a quiet, still voice that comes. And this song is about God's initiative, really. God comes and He initiates with us, and then we can rest in His presence. And then we'll sing Reckless Love, you know. I mean, it seems strange that God would give up all of His glory and all of His perfection, everything in heaven that He was experiencing, and come and die on a cross. It just seems reckless. Like, it just does. But God, again, He loved us so much He wouldn't leave us alone. He came and picked us up and got us, right? And then how marvelous. I just want to stand amazed in His presence. So let's just play all three of these. Soft, quietly spoken voice that persistently calls my name and beckons my heart to come. I come, still soft, see again. Still soft, quietly spoken voice that persistently calls my name and beckons my heart to come. I come. I rest in the shelter of your love, and I rest in the wonder want to?
I'm still trying to figure out keys right now.
Trying to figure out what key you want to be in?
Yeah.
Do Reckless Love. Let's do F.
Yeah.
I like F. I don't know if Louise Smith is still on, but Louise, if you are, good to see at least your name here on the screen. That's pretty cool that you're here. Long time. I was singing Before I Spoke a Word.
Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You've been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You've been so, so kind to me.
lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah. One more. I stand amazed. Well, God, we're just grateful for tonight. I think maybe Josiah and I are the most grateful because we get to play. I don't know, maybe everybody else is too, but most of all, Jesus, we're grateful for you. And we stand here amazed. We stand here amazed in the presence of you. All that you've done. Jesus, we just want to rest in what you've done. That we can look at the cross. We can think through all the things that we've done. All the things, all the injustices, all those things in our past we can look at. Go, I shouldn't have done that. I can't believe I went there. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I saw that. I can't believe that I hurt that person that way. And we look at the world and we cry out, justice must be done. And God, we know you cry out, justice must be done. But God, you looked at the world and you looked at the penalty that we couldn't possibly pay. You knew it would destroy us. You loved us so much. You decided to take that penalty into yourself. And Jesus, you went to the death that we didn't deserve. On that cross. And we're so grateful. We stand amazed. I stand amazed in the presence of Jesus the Nazarene. And I wonder how he could love me, a sinner condemned unclean. How marvelous, how wonderful in my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me.
to sing of His love for me. All right, here we go. How marvelous, how wonderful is my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. How marvelous, how wonderful is my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me.
Well, everyone, thanks for joining us. Just so you guys know, we are going to probably go live with a worship set at 4:30 on Friday. And then for the rest of the evening, we're going to do Secret Church. And for Secret Church this year, if you don't know what that is, it's actually a simulcast. We'll be watching a sermon, and it's a series of sermons. And David Platt is the guy who's going to be giving most of those sermons. And the topic this year is really, really relevant. God, politics. What should Christians think when we think about politics? So I think it's going to be pretty relevant. But we'll start with probably some worship right around 4:30 on Friday, and then at 5 we'll start the simulcast. And it actually goes pretty late, so it's a pretty good commitment. So just kind of clear out your Friday evening. But we're all at home, right? We're clear, most of us, I think. All right, but thanks for joining us tonight. This has been really, really fun. Josiah, thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
Maybe I joined you, actually. I'm not.
Either way, it was
It's kind of a both and. Well.